After doing 23 F4 races at Donington sequentially in a row, which took 24 hours of my life away and really did risk the chance of getting a deep vein thrombosis, I've discovered that there are 5 distinct types of iRacer, and I've categorised them nice and neatly for your future reference. There's the esports alien, the hot lapper, the fun racer, the happy friendly noob, and the angry toxic noob. Now obviously not everyone can be pigeonholed precisely into these categories, but for the most part you can fit people into these categories with a little bit of bleed over from one to the other. Like you do get the angry toxic esport alien, or the angry toxic hot lapper, or the angry... Everyone's angry and toxic on iRacing, so maybe category 5 is redundant, but you know what I mean. There's a little bit of bleed over here, but fundamentally these main categories became apparent to me whilst we were doing the races. So the esport alien would be the person that's an esport alien. They've got absolutely phenomenal racecraft, absolutely phenomenal pace. They'll have a really great setup in the open setup races. They're just on another level. With the F4 at Donington, they were doing 26s. Who does 26s? Paranormal Activity aliens. That's who. They're going to always be there. There's only a very small number of them, but there's always going to be the occasional, probably 1 or 2 of them at most in a race, esports aliens. Number 2, you have the hot lappers. Now with the hot lapper, they can do alien pace laps, and they can sometimes qualify with the alien pace laps. They can also do those laps fairly consistently in a race if they are away from other drivers. However, with the hot lapper, what happens is if there's any other cars around them, or they have to demonstrate any form of racecraft, it completely falls apart for them. Basically, they've effectively memorised the required inputs for the hot lapping aspect of iRacing. And as I say, if you are racing around these drivers, they can't do anything other than drive on the racing line. So if you stick your car up on the inside of them or force them slightly offline, they will either bin themselves or... And what happens quite often, they will end up taking other people out. They literally can only drive the racing line once the tyres are warm. Anything outside of that, and it completely collapses for them. Unfortunately, this hot lapper category is really, really prevalent on iRacing, and we notice it so much in this F4 car. And I've noticed it from playing other series as well, but it's a massive issue in iRacing where people have no racecraft and no real car control, but they've got good pace because they've practiced a lot. That's category 2. The fun racer, on the other hand, is someone that maybe they do have a bit of the sort of hot lapper mentality to them, but generally they're just there to have a good time. They're not going to be setting the fastest laps, the crazy lap times. They're not in the alien category, and they're normally 1 to 2 seconds off the pace. They're in there to have a good race. They're normally a bit friendly on the voice chat. There's a bit of banter. They're able to race around other cars a little bit. They're just a fun racer. I think I'll put myself in this category, obviously, because I'm not good enough to be a hot lapper or an esports driver. But the fun racer, they're the optimal iRacer, an optimal sim racer, obviously. Now, the happy friendly noob is basically like the fun racer, but they're just not very good. Maybe they're new to sim racing. You know, maybe they're not new, but they're just never going to pick it up because they have no aptitude for it. Maybe they don't care, but it doesn't really matter because they're happy, they're friendly, and they don't block or do anything stupid. They're just very slow, but they're still having a good time. So they're the happy, friendly noob. They'll still be on the voice chat. They'll still be bantering. They'll just be nice people that just happen to be slow. And then, of course, the angry, toxic noob, which is the worst, even worse than the hot lapper in iRacing. The worst people. These are people that we came across quite a few of these in races where they would spin out in the first few laps. They would drive the first lap as if they were an esport pro alien, but actually they don't know where the breakpoint is for T1 and they can't drive around cars. They also don't know about setting up the brakes so you can't lock up, or they don't know anything. They just drive like it's Wreckfest. These types of people are the type of people that will also wreck, go to the pits, and then come out in front of everyone else racing, ignoring the blue flags, but also blocking and just ruining everything for everyone. They'll also be on the voice chat, slagging everyone off. These are the worst people in iRacing, and I think iRacing needs to do something to get rid of these people. They don't deserve to live, let alone play iRacing. So with the categories defined and broken down there, what I would say is that there's a very small percentage of the eSport Alien drivers. At certain times of day, at the peak times, you get more of them, but most of the time they're not actually in the general iRacing servers. Maybe one or two of them at best. The hot lappers are the most prominent type of person in iRacing, which is quite good because it means if you learn how to actually balance the car, go through the centrifugal circuit and have a bit of car control, you can really throw them off and gain free places. And the hot lappers often crash within the first 2 laps, so that's quite a good thing. And the fun racer, I wouldn't. Unfortunately, there's not as many of them as I would hope for. I would say maybe a quarter of the grid is the fun racer. So let's say it's a 20 car grid. Maybe there's 6 or 7 fun racers in there. And then the rest of the grid is a combination of the happy friendly noobs and the angry toxic noobs. All you need to know is that iRacing is pure suffering no matter what time of day that you play it. Now, I know I did say these are just the major categories here. I think we could actually go deeper into this because you have stuff like the laggy noob, the laggy angry noob, the happy then angry when they crash noob. Oh, that you could do like a dissertation on this. There's so many categories, but these are just the 5 big categories because I didn't want this to be too deep or too scientific. And like everything I do, this is entirely scientifically proven without any evidence. So my contributions to sim racing are innumerable and incomprehensible by most people. There's not much more to say really. I mean, you know, identifying these categories of driver when you go into a race can be really, really handy to get an advantage. And by about hour 14 of the F4 at Donington, I could see the rear of a car. I could see where they position. I could see the lap times. You just know straight away. Oh, and the liveries. How could I forget? The liveries are such a giveaway. If someone's got like an Ayrton Senna livery on their car, toxic noob potential is really high, if not hot lapper. Though hot lapper is often a Ferrari livery. Pure hot lapper livery will be a Red Bull skin, F1 skin. Doesn't matter. It could be Formula V. This applies to every series. It could be like a Red Bull livery GT3 car, Formula V. It doesn't matter. If it's a Red Bull livery, it's a hot lapper and they're going to crash and they're probably going to crash into you. But that's a whole nother video. Liveries to driving style. That's coming up, guys. Let me know if you want to see that. This is the content I'm uniquely placed to produce. Let me know in the comments, where do you guys fit in? As I say, I think I'm kind of a fun sim racer. I hate hot lapping and I'm too crap to be an alien. So I'm a kind of fun, but then I'm fun with a bit of the toxic occasionally. I try and keep it to myself, but sometimes it fails. And I'm a bit of a happy noob sometimes. I'm a good mixture of the 3, but I'd say mostly a fun racer. I like being in that pack of cars jostling around just to have a good race. I think that's where most people would want to be, and most people are probably in denial as to if they're one of the other categories. So well, let me know in the comments, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you subscribe, make sure you click the like button. Also, if you want to support us, remember to use our affiliate links, Fanatec, Amazon, OnlyFans. We've got affiliate links for everything because I like, you know, go and use them. But until the next one, guys, happy tea drinking, happy sim racing, and goodbye, everyone.